Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Here we have the culmination of our 562 Mark I build. We got the saw put back together. In the last video when we posted it, one of my local channel subscribers reached out. He had a part saw, actually a couple of parts saws that he had tried to put together, and one of them was still giving him fits. And so we met up with Dan. Thanks Dan, appreciate the parts. And he had the oiler pinion gear and a clutch that would fit this saw. And so we got the parts and we grabbed Dan's saw and put Dan's saw back together for him as well. I'll go over what we found on that one, but somebody had taken the auto tune module off that saw and it was missing the gasket. I'll be doing another video where we'll take apart a 562 carbon and we'll talk about that. But we got a full wrap on this one. We've got the external dogs that come with the kit, and the saw is currently running a 24-inch bar, and it's up and running, and it cuts really good. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with how this build has turned out. I am going to take it in to my local dealer and have them put the most current version of firmware on this. This is a 2020 model saw, and if it has never had an update on it, the firmware in the auto tune module will be out of date, and there's some better firmware available for it. So we are going to do that. In the meantime, we're going to take this saw out. A buddy of mine's coming. He wants some firewood for the house. So we've got some ash we're going to buck up and split by hand. And so we'll take it out and we'll do some cutting, and you'll get to see it and hear it in action. All right, we got a few logs here we're going to buck up. This saw has been sitting since yesterday, so this will be an actual cold start. Saw starts really good. I'm pretty happy with my saw in a box. We're going to do a little bit more tweaking on it. Just said I'm going to have the firmware updated, and then we'll see if there's any change in performance. But all in all, pretty good result on our 562. All right, it's cold outside today. We're approaching 0, and we're going to be below 0 now, I think, for about 10 days. So I had to get in here to the shed where it's warm up my hands. But all in all, I think this saw performs really well. If you're paying attention in the video, you can hear when I come off the trigger, it runs on just for a second. It's almost like it leans out. If this was a normal carb saw, I would add a little fuel to the idle. I'm not sure if that's something that is inherent in the firmware that's in this carburetor, or if there's an issue with this carburetor. I did rebuild the carburetor for my saw. This is one that came out of the part saw, and I'm going to do a teardown video on this. It'll be just a short video just to show what's going on. But there are a couple of places you could get air leaks in this carb. Not really sure what that's all about. Other than that, though, I'm really happy with how the saw runs. I've got 2 tanks of fuel through it. Check the plug, got a nice tan color on the plug. So I think all in all, the motor's running pretty healthy. However, that little run on is just a little odd. So we're going to take a look at that. Also, dropped the cylinder by getting rid of that base gasket like we talked about in a previous video. And what I did not do was adjust the exhaust opening. So I think I'm probably going to pull this cylinder off, and I'm going to adjust the exhaust opening back to stock. These are 102 stock, and this is a really short blowdown saw. So I think I'm going to raise up that exhaust and then raise the transfers as well just to match. But that's for a later date. So I hope you enjoyed following along on this 562 build. Probably going to do some more of these. If you've got any comments or anything you want to see on the channel, hit it in the comments and see what's going on. Recently bought a large collection of vintage saws, so I've got about 49 saws in the last week. So we're going to do some videos going through some of those, make those run, make those cut. Anyway, we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.